Hello everyone, it's me. I know, you're all excited, and welcome to, as stated by the title of this video, random things that I've gotten throughout the year. I'm not going to show everything because showing everything would involve video games, which you already have the list for in the description of this video, as well as many more, and Legos, because I would have to lug the boxes up here, and I'm kind of too lazy to do that. So with that said, let's begin. So one of the first things is this Switch travel case that can actually fit everything. I looked up the item description and details. You can put the dock right here in the center. The Switch would go down here. You have room for the standard basic controller. These would hold like cables or Joy-Cons. And the reason I bought it is because the idea was if I had time, I would use this to bring my Switch over to the house of someone that I know. And I could never do that because our schedules never lined up properly. So I just have this now, and it's probably just going to hypothetically never be used. I'm so sad about it. I do want to actually use this at some point. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to, is the sucky part about everything. Now, for the next one, I have my 3DS in my hand. I didn't buy it this year, but what I did buy was a micro USB card for this thing, as well as a flash drive for the Wii U, because as many people may or may not know, the shop for both the 3DS and the Wii U closed earlier this year in March. And you want to know the fun part? This is sort of broken now because it just won't function properly if I press the X and B buttons. I think maybe the A button as well. So I technically have a busted 3DS. Kind of. It still works. It's just that the buttons will not function properly unless you hold them down. Which for some of the games that I play, can't, do anything with that. Because, you gotta actually press the buttons instead of, holding down the button and praying that it functions. So, sucky inevitable aftermath of that, and I'm sad about it. We're already 2 items in, and it's just sad. This is going to be one of the 2 feelings, sad, and you'll find out the other one. Okay, so the next bit is a little weird. This is a book I got before the Mario film came out. This is the unofficial guide to Mario, and when I say weird and when I say unofficial, I mean both of them legitimately, because there is a page in here, if I can find it, that I found it. Okay, so there's a page in here that talks about, the GameCube era, and it shows Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, The Incredibles, and Batman Vengeance on the page. It is extremely weird. I don't get why it does. I think it also has, GoldenEye show up in here. Yep, GoldenEye is in here for the 64 era. I don't know why they had it there, but yeah, that's just in this book. I'm not going to show you for the sake of spoilers and whatnot. But very much unofficial, very much weird. And I was gifted this. I did not buy this because I probably wouldn't have. But, it was a nice gesture, so why complain about it? Also, they have Mario Sunshine on the back. Yeah, Mario Sunshine! Also the Mario film, but who cares about that? So the next thing is a little bit interesting. So I saw this in the store, and I went, this looks like it would be really fun to play if I ever actually sit down and play it. That's going to be the other occurring theme. So this is the Avatar: The Last Airbender role-playing game, or more specifically, Avatar Legends. Comes with a bunch of different kits, rules, etc. There's a booklet talking about different playable eras. You've got dice. You've got reference sheets. There's a discount code for the core, but I guess just the digital version, as far as I can tell. I want to play this properly and actually talk about it in a video or a stream, because legitimately I think this is conceptually a really neat idea for an IP that I'm a somewhat decent fan of. So yeah, maybe at some point I will actually sit down and explain this properly. Then we have one of the many DVDs that I bought this year. This is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have not watched this. I know it's good, or at least I have been told it's good. Um, my mom and sister did watch it, and my mom was like, I don't like it. So I have to watch this, but I also have like another 7 that I need to watch. And you will see those 7 throughout this. So yeah. So the next one is some Kirby stuff because, I'm a Kirby fan. I had to buy Kirby stuff. So we have still in its box and been in its box for over half a year, a 30th anniversary Kirby Nendoroid, which are little, how do I explain this properly? I'm being dumb. They're little like figurines they can switch the faces of. As you can see here, we have Kirby with the Star Rod. We have Kirby with I don't know what that is. Seed. We'll just give it a seed. Kirby freaking out. Kirby's dizzy, and then classic Kirby. It's very flashy actually. So Star Rod. I assume that's a seed. He's freaking out. You got him dizzy. And then here he is, like classic face Kirby with a little knapsack because he's going on an adventure. And then we also have Ribbon from Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards because I like Kirby 64 and I think Ribbon's a fun character. So I got these because as a Kirby fan I had to. It's law to get Kirby merchandise as a Kirby fan. At least I think so. God only knows what everybody else thinks. Then we have the Mario film. I actually bought the Mario film. I did actually watch this film in theater. This is like one of the only ones that I actually saw in the theater. So I can at least state I've seen it. And that's the only one out of everything. I didn't hate the film. I don't think it's the best film to have come out this year. But I didn't hate it. But it's not the best film to come out this year. Moving on. Alright, so next one is there is a site known as Fangamer. Fangamer. Sells a bunch of stuff for a bunch of different types of games, and I bought plushies because I like plushies. So let's show off the first one. Come here. Stop running away. You are not allowed to escape, and you are already been spoiled. You're not allowed to. You didn't see that until I actually show. It's Banjo and Kazooie. It's amazing, but the best part is get out of the back. It's 2 plushies. For the price of what? Banjo's hair looks terrible. Banjo, what'd you do as you were sitting on my shelf? There you go. Banjo has gotten his hair brushed, and he's now still. This is maybe like my only complaint with the plushie, because yeah, but there's Banjo, and then you have Kazooie. Supposedly she can stand, but she can't. But yeah, so this was the first one. Now they're gonna go on the floor, where they can collect more dust and still look terrible. But the next one... Bunger! Bunger, Bunger, Bunger. Bunger? Bunger, 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 Bunger. It's Bunger from Bug Snacks. He's got little fry legs and fry tusks and big old googly eyes. It's amazing. And I love him. He's a little soft and squishy. These are actually quite hard though, and he does actually stand. He fell over. It's fine. Now the last one, I don't get the accessory that comes with it, but it's related to the shirt. I mentally didn't even realize that I wore this today for work, because I'm doing this on a day that I worked. But it's a Surfbot from Mega Man Legends, and for some reason he has curry, and it's a magnet as well, which is really neat. But also, I don't know why it's curry. I need to play Mega Man Legends. I've played Banjo-Kazooie. I've played Bug Snacks. We all know I've played Bug Snacks. I have not properly played Mega Man Legends 1 or 2. So I don't know if there is some technicality with the curry or it's just some random addition. But yeah, it's a little Surfbot. Because I do like Mega Man Legends. I think it's a fun IP. Or fun spin-off of the Mega Man IP. But I don't get the curry. I really don't. Alright, so the next thing that I have to show is a bunch of different books. So there's just a book that's basically a book by itself and then a bunch of different series. So the book that I got is The Jungle. And I bought this because this was July-ish. And to kind of give context about what happened in July, or I think it was like June, There was the submarine that effectively was going to the Titanic and then probably imploded. And safety regulations are written in blood, and this book is heavily about that. I still need to properly sit down and read this, and once I do, I'm gonna talk about said submarine because it's it's dumb about what happened, but also safety regulations are written in blood, and this book talks about it. This is about the meatpacking industry in the early 1900s, if I remember the technicalities correctly, and I will probably and hopefully correct myself if I am wrong. And then the next bunch are for different mangas. I really hope to God I said that right. And I actually forgot one, and I'm mad at myself. So let me get the other one, and then I'll actually show them all. Okay, I found it. So these are a bunch of different manga series that I have been buying for the most part, partially because I really like them and wanted to own them physically, or I just found it. I didn't know it was a thing, and I decided to get it. So the first one, which is kind of the most obvious, is there is a manga for Splatoon, believe it or not. When it comes to Nintendo franchises and books, there is books for The Legend of Zelda. I don't think there is anything made for Breath of the Wild or Tears, but I know everything up to Twilight Princess, I think, has had a book of some kind. And I do own those. I'm not going to show them because I'm a spiteful little man. But there was also a Kirby manga. The cover is really bright, as you can tell. So this one's kind of weird because it has Kirby actually talking, which is extremely weird. But it's just like just silly manga, and that's kind of why I decided to buy it. I think this one actually talks about Kirby 64, believe it or not, which is actually quite interesting. I have yet to read that one. Then there is Delicious in Dungeon, which is also called Dungeon Meshi. To explain what this is, think Dungeons and Dragons with a focus on cooking. This series is fantastic. Honestly, I've still got to wait for the other volumes to be available physically, but as soon as I do, I'm buying them. This thing is great. I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's getting an anime next year, which everybody's excited about. Read this. This is really good. Then we have something else that has an anime. This is Laid Back Camp. This is basically about camping in Japan in the winter. I never knew that was a thing, camping in the winter. This is like this is book 14. The first season of the anime, I think, covers books 1 to 4. It's either 1 to 4 or 1 to 8. It's really good. I think the books are very nice and pretty and just nice to look at. Learning about random camping stuff is always really nice as well. I just think it's conceptually a really fun series, and people should take a look at it. And then we have a weird one. Okay, this is the Apothecary Diaries. This is a historical-ish piece about a girl, this one specifically, who is basically a daughter of a doctor, kind of. The girl is obsessed with medicine and toxins to the point where there is an actual scene where sometimes you'll see like a character have unusual pupils, and usually there'll be like hearts instead of like the normal iris. She has the skull and crossbones for like poison in her eyes because it's like, oh my god, this poison's great. I want to kill myself with it. So yeah, it's great though, honestly. It's also a lot of, it's historical because it's like feudal China or Japan. Pretty sure it's China. Pretty sure. And then, but it's also like murder mystery stuff, and it's her solving like random things that happen because of her history with chemicals and medicines and stuff. It's actually a very fun read. I do recommend it. Okay, so continuing on with anime and manga related stuff, I have a film called Violet Evergarden, which, as stated with most of the films in this video, I have yet to watch. I just thought it looked kind of interesting, and I decided to take a look and watch it and buy it to watch it later type thing. God only knows when because of how terrible I am. But the next thing I have is a cookbook, specifically Baking Yesteryear by B. Dylan Hollis. There's a YouTube channel called Dylan Hollis, or at least that's how you can look it up. And he basically does recipes throughout the years, which is what this book is about. So if I go into it, okay, so it's like there's recipes that he's modified from the 1900s. There's the 30s and the 70s and the 80s. He also has ones that basically made him vomit, gag, etc. In case you want to, suffer. And I'm gonna read what I'm gonna say the name of one of the ones that's really bad, just so you can understand how bad it is. Please turn the page properly. Oh, here I found one. Pickled cheesecake. Okay. Here I'll read another really bad one. Prune whip pie. Going to actually good ones. Jello poke cake is a recipe in here. This is, as stated, Jello poke cake is one of the good ones. There's one in here called banana oatmeal cookies, which I actually do want to properly try. There's a recipe for, let me find another good one. Okay, can I find a good one? Cereal Crunch Nougat Bars. There, that's a perfect name. I want to try to actually properly cook some of these. There was one recipe that he did on a YouTube short, which was originally a TikTok, that I had done. It was very, very simple, literally just 2 ingredients. I do want to actually try to do some of the ones in this book because there's a lot of really fun ones in here, like the Jello poke cake. There's also a peanut butter and jelly cheesecake that I want to try. There's just some really interesting ones in here that I think would be really, really good to eat and try. All right, so I'm sitting a little weird for this one. This is a PS3 controller, but this cable is a 10-foot long cable that I bought literally because of Shadow of the Colossus final fight and my controller dying in the middle of it, and I was very mentally aggravated, and I was told you can just buy a 10-foot cable, which I did. So now I don't have to endure the inevitable suffering of that, and that's why I'm saying like this. So now I can just actively have this stupid maybe 2.5 hour battery life controller charging while I'm streaming. It's fantastic. Life will be so much easier for the PS3. You don't even know. All right, so then we have more plushies because I like plushies, and the first one is Little Dude. It's a small fry from Splatoon 3, or more specifically, it's the small fry, the best character. How you doing? I hate you. He's so mean to me. I left him on a shelf, to be fair. But also, we got little Kirby. He's got a pillow, he's got a little nightcap, he's ready for bed. Because he is tired, and so am I. It's almost the end of the year. I have to do a stupid joke every now and then. Alright, so next thing up is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Can I get a good picture? There we go. That is actually the right way to hold the DVD, by the way. Otherwise, everything is upside down. Anyway, I have seen this film. This is actually the first time I've been to a theater by myself because no one else really wanted to see the film. It's a very good film. I would probably say the best film to come out this year just because of the art style, animation, etc. There's not much else to be said outside of it's a good film. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. So, yeah. So, this one's a bit depressing. Kind of worse situation. Kind of more of the 3DS situation, but worse. So, this is a game called Spirits and Spells. I didn't buy this. I've had this since I was a kid. But the other thing that I had since I was a kid was my GameCube. And my GameCube broke, as we all know, because I wanted to play this for the month of October. And then my GameCube, specifically, as far as I can tell, the issue is it's just the disc reader scan doohickey what's it that I can't remember the specific technicals for is busted because it can still turn on. It'll go to the main menu. It just won't read discs. Yeah, so I had to buy a GameCube, a new one, effectively to play this, and this was kind of a piece of garbage, a little bit. So that's not a great way find out your GameCube's dead from you going, oh, I want to play this game, and then you find out the GameCube's dead, and you buy a new GameCube, and then you play the game, and it's like the game kind of sucks. Life is pain. That's all you need to know. So then I have two more films. One I've actually watched, and the other one I still haven't yet. So this is the one I watched, which is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. It's not the worst film, but the ending's just kind of a mess. There's the review of Rise of the Beasts. Then we have the Barbie film. And fun thing with this, so obviously people know what Barbenheimer is, or yeah, Barbieheimer. That's the name of it. The films didn't release at the same time, which, like on DVD, which I found to be extremely annoying. I do have Oppenheimer as well. I bought it for my dad, so it's more his thing than mine. So yeah, I wanted to watch this, and that's really the main reason why I bought it. Just conceptually, I figured I want to watch this, see how it is. So there you go. Still bugs me that Oppenheimer released like months after onto DVD. It's very annoying. You know, you sync up the films together for release, but then the DVDs are like months apart. Stupid. So for this next one, did you guys know that Digimon has a card game? I bought these last year, for context. But yeah, did you know that Digimon has a card game? Disney also has a card game, but we don't need to talk about that one. Anyway, I found out about it last year. I bought those last year. But this year, I basically bought all of this. So we got a premium deck set. We got a box, little like booster box that comes with I think like just a little figurine. I got Vmon, if anybody knows what that Digimon is. Bunch of boosters, primarily boosters for the versus Royal Knights, but here's the ensemble there. And then I got two additional decks. The Dragon of Courage starter deck, which is War Greymon, and then the Wolf of Friendship, which is Metal Garurumon. I was like, wait, are they both called Greymon? No, I'm stupid. There you go. I do like Digimon conceptually. I do want to actually sit down and talk about the card game at some point, because I do think mechanically it's really interesting, but time will tell, because I have no idea when I'm going to be able to actually give myself a sit down and play it, because I also have to build a bunch of Legos and play a lot of games. You get the idea. I have a problem. The next one is a board game, or more specifically, as it states on the box, adventure book game for Lord of the Rings. I have not played this. You know the recurring themes. He's not watched it. He's not played it. Anyway, I saw this in the store and I went, this looks kind of fun. I want to actually play this and have a sit down and play it with, say, my family, or at the very least my dad. God only knows when I'm actually going to be able to get to that. But there was another thing that's kind of connected with my dad, which is the next item, which I have no idea if I'm even going to play that, because I have no idea half the time. So transitioning from the Lord of the Rings board game. So when I was younger, I played Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition with my dad as the Dungeon Master. And conceptually, I do like D&D. Okay, I really like D&D. I don't like what happened with D&D earlier this year. But through the concept of I got it for free, I was able to get the 5th Edition Player's Handbook, which is that, as well as Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And I'm probably going to try to get the Dungeon Master Guide for free, so my dad can do stuff with that. But the other thing that I got was the core rulebook for Pathfinder, which is 600 pages. By the look how thick this is. Okay, I can kill a man with that. Look how piddly the D&D one is in comparison. Look at that. It's crazy. It's like two of these. I can kill a man with this. But I wanted to really like take a look at it, because board game RPGs and just RPGs in general are stuff I really like. and I wanted to really like sit down and read, and also, if possible, play games with them. Obviously, there's Baldur's Gate 3 that came out this year. I think there was a Pathfinder game that came out within the last couple of years, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to try to like properly play some of those at some point. And maybe I'll do something with these. I have no idea though, but I have some fun reading material. You know, it's fun. That's all that matters to me. I bought this because I wanted to read it, and there you go. So the next thing that I got was, I saw it in the store. It's Transformers, the complete original series. So every single season of the original show, all in one package. I saw this at my workplace, and I went, oh, cool. I want to buy this really badly. So I did. And there you go. Have I watched it yet? No. Am I going to watch it? Hopefully. When? I have no idea. As stated, recurring theme. He doesn't watch it. He hasn't watched it yet. He hasn't looked at it. He hasn't read it yet, and he hasn't played with it yet. And I am really lazy. All right. So the next thing. No. All right. So the next thing is more plushies from Fangamer. I've got 4 this time. So we're going to start off with the easiest one to understand. I've played a game that he's from. It's Jack Frost from Shin Megami Tensei and Persona and so on. Hee-ho. That was a terrible hee-ho, but that is what he says. I've played SMT5. I want to play Persona 5. I have it. I just have to actually download it. I don't know if I'm going to play the other ones, but yeah, little hee-ho man. So now you can go on the floor, so I can go grab the next one. I'm going to grab this one. This is the little wolf hero. Not wolf hero, fox hero. I know animals from Tunic. Hold the shield right. Yeah! So, I do have Tunic. I do want to properly play it. And I do like this little guy. I think the tail is a bit excessive. And and I didn't actually explain this with the serve bot, with the curry, but the little attachments are magnet. So you can actually take this off and connect it with magnet, which is really neat. And now that I stated the magnet thing, I'm now going to dictate that the next one, I think, doesn't have a working magnet. I don't know. Anyway, this is Amaterasu from Okami. And there's a magnet. This one works. I can attach it onto the back and... Oh, that's where the magnet is. Okay, I didn't know where the magnet was on the top of his head, but I found it. And there's also this, which... I haven't properly played Okami. I played a demo of it a long time ago. Like a PS2 demo disc demo. But I do want to actually properly sit down and play Okami at some point. I have the HD on Steam. I'm probably going to try to play it next year, just simply because conceptually, I think Okami is a really cool game. Visually, I think it's beautiful looking. So, yeah, we have Okami. Now he's going to sit down on the floor, and the ball knocked off. At least I found the magnet. That was like the one thing that bugged me. I didn't know how to attach the little guy. But then we have Peppino Spaghetti from Pizza Tower. As far as I know, his last name is Spaghetti, or at least the fan dictation is that his last name is Spaghetti. I know he's Peppino, but yeah, I wanted to get the plush because I do like Pizza Tower. I wanted to have a little bit of merchandise of the game because it's a fun game. Like, I just suck at it. But yeah, little Peppino Spaghetti man. Punoy! I think he says that. I don't know, and I'm not doing the scream. Alright, so next up is another film that he hasn't watched because he's terrible. It's the TMNT Mutant Mayhem film that came out this year. And the only thing that I really properly know about this is that the guy that voiced Gumball Watterson is in here, and I think he voices Leonardo. That's like the only thing that I properly know about this film. I'm going to sit down at some point and actually watch this because I did want to and I just never did because I'm terrible. Alright, so the next one up is Christmas Presents. Now, when it comes to Christmas presents, the only thing that I really ask for is cash. And the reason for this is it's easier to buy what I want than try to explain it to family and whoever, because sometimes I want, obscure video games or expensive video games, whatever. I don't want them to kind of have to deal with that. So I'll just ask for the cash. And this way I can use it on, say, eBay cards and get a little bit less because of my workplace, or I can get Steam cards for a little bit less, and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. My mom, however, goes, I'm not just giving you cash because you have to actually open something and just blah, blah, blah. So she gave me three presents, and each one had 100 cash with it. So the first one is a gummy remote. Okay, this is all a gummy. This is a blue raspberry flavor with no nuts. It's nut-free. Better be nut-free. It's a goddamn gummy. And yeah, so this was the first one that came with $100. It didn't cost 100. It's just that she wrapped it with $100 that was given to me. Anyway, so the really weird thing about this, I'm not eating this, by the way, because I don't want to. But the weird thing about this is that for serving size, it's 1/11th, not a 10th or a 12th, an 11th. And I think the only reason why they dictated 11 servings for this stupid thing is because it's 13 grams of sugar per serving, and they wanted a clean number. It's dumb. It's the dumb present. There you go. Did I want it? No. Did I have to get it to classify as something for the cat? Yes. So that was that one. This is the slightly usable one. This is an Oreo milkshake kit. So it comes with a little pack of Oreos. It comes with a vanilla milkshake mix, and it comes with sprinkles. I'm not using the sprinkles. Now, here's the fun thing with this. So a couple months ago, because obviously this is a Christmas present, a couple of months ago, or about a month ago, I can't remember anymore. Anyway, I bought, or we had gotten these, like, fruit purees that you would just mix with, say, water to make, like, a drink, or you would make a smoothie with it, and it was like, oh, we're going to get him a blender just for him. And I didn't want that because it's like, we already have a blender, but also I could just mix this puree with water and it's going to be fine. Anyway, she was like, I'm going to buy him this. And her thought process. I'm going to buy him a milkshake kit. And he can use the cup to shake the drinks. There's no lid. There's no lid at all in this. Okay, here's the kit. Here's kit includes. Okay. I don't know how. So it says Oreo cookie, vanilla milkshake mix, ceramic cup, sprinkles. There's no lid. So it's like kind of the most pointless-ish thing. But at some point I will actually eat this because, it's a milkshake. I might as well. And then the last thing I got was an alarm clock because I don't wake up in the morning. But as you can tell by the picture, this has USB ports as well as 2 power outlets on this, and this is an electric powered one. It's like I have a pseudo surge protector basically as an alarm clock, which I'm not going to use these ports. I already have a surge protector, but it's like it's so weird. This is the most actually useful gift, but it's also, I think, maybe the most oddball one. I say then, and I got the gummy controller. But as stated, I got 100 cash with each of these, so I have $300. Very nice, if I say so myself. All right, this is actually the last thing, and it's the most recent one. And by recent, I mean literally the day I recorded this. So I saw this in my workplace. This is the complete series for Shaun the Sheep, which I know what a lot of people are thinking. Why? Shaun the Sheep is pretty good. Okay, that's all you need to know. So this is the entire series of Shaun the Sheep. To those who don't know, this is by the guys of Chicken Run in Wallace and Gromit. So that's that. But I didn't want to buy it yet. But I had a discount for DVDs. But the other thing was I found this in the store. And this is the complete series for Cowboy Bebop, which I have seen some of it years ago, so I know what this is. I know what this is. I just haven't properly seen the whole series. So I'm gonna have a proper sit down and actually watch this in probably 20 years because I am kind of severely out of date with doing things. Yeah. All right, so that was basically everything off the top of my head. I don't think I missed anything. And yeah, it's basically a lot of stuff that I've yet to watch, board games I've yet to play, card games. Actually, there is one thing that I forgot. So I have a PS5 now. I got this the week of Thanksgiving, and it's going to be the first thing that I stream in 2024, or more specifically, it's going to be Asher's Playroom. It's a figure, why not? So, see you then in 2024.